Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Sekani, a podcast for people in their 20s who are trying to figure out life and not get lost along the way. Today's guest is Kimberly Karstunen, the founder of Taco, a communication expert, speaker, and entrepreneur. Her work focuses on emotional intelligence, nonverbal communication, and helping people reconnect with themselves so they can build stronger relationships, scenes, and lives. What makes her perspective unique is that it's rooted in lived experience, from navigating hearing loss to building resilience, self-awareness, and personal power. Kimberly, welcome to Conversations with Sekani. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me. It's a joy to be here.
All right, so yeah, I feel like I didn't pronounce your name correctly. Kastunen, right?
No, you actually did it perfect. I was very impressed.
Oh wow. Okay. Now I'm impressed too. All right. So
Perfect.
yes, heads up, we're gonna be diving into your 20s a little bit. So can you take us back to your 20s? What was life like for you during that time? What were you trying to
Ooh,
figure out?
my 20s, oh my gosh, they were chaotic. I was very much a yes girl and down for anything. So I
Hmm.
backpacked the whole world. I took on jobs from ice skating to working on board a luxury train. And I was really just trying to do anything and everything so that I could figure myself out, but I was quite lost. 20s was very much a time of self-discovery, and I'm very grateful for it, but I am also happy to be out on the other side.
Okay, wow. All right. So, growing up, navigating hearing loss and feeling misunderstood, how did that shape your confidence and identity in your early years?
Yeah, yeah. With all of that going on, I really found that being misunderstood constantly taught me I had to be more secure in myself. Always in this life, we are going to have people who misunderstand us. And if we constantly try to prove or over explain to them, it puts us in a really uncomfortable and not secure place within ourselves. So I'm very grateful that all of that happened because now, if people don't understand me, I will try to somehow switch the conversation so that maybe it's just as the way I'm explaining it to them and I'm not
Mm.
communicating as clearly. Or otherwise, I will just also ask them and say, hey, this is what I understand from what you're saying. Is this what you actually mean? And keep that conversation flowing and going, but knowing not to take it personally and just to let it water off the bridge?
Mm. All right. Wow. So it's about understanding, actually. All right. So,
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
focusing on today. All right. So focusing on today, you focus on communication, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness. So how would you explain what you do in a simple and practical way?
Beautiful, beautiful. For workplaces, I really help leaders and employees connect to themselves again and build that self-trust because I find a lot of the coaching methodologies I use, so many people, they really go and search outside of themselves. And it's very common human behavior, and there's no judgment in it because I've done it a lot in the past too, and sometimes still do. And we have to catch ourselves in the moment of, do I actually need an outside opinion for this, or have I not asked myself a question to gain deeper understanding and trust within myself to do something or to say something in the way I want to? And such a big part of this coaching as well is just making sure, I'm okay to make mistakes. And the leaders and employees I coach, it's okay for them to make mistakes too. And what a gift, because that's where we really learn. And when we learn together, we're also building connection together because no one's perfect in this world, right? And it's so beautiful when we're able to grow in that environment of learning with one another.
Wow. Okay, so all right. Actually, what you spoke about emotional intelligence, especially about amongst employees and their employers, right? I think that's a very
Mhm.
common thing, especially in our world today. Not most of them are really, emotionally intelligent, right? And it causes, I don't know, it just causes some form of burnout amongst these people. And yeah, I like what you're doing because it helps, right? It takes, especially in our generation, actually. So yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. You
100%.
often, yeah, you often talk about communication beyond words. So, what are people missing when it comes to truly understanding others?
Mm. Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head there. There are a lot of layers to this, and burnout can be one of those layers, right? And with things that happen beyond words, part of that can be is someone not feeling fully grounded within themselves. If we don't feel healthy because of our nutrition, and I don't believe there's a one diet fits all for everyone. No, no, it's whatever works for you. But once you find what works for you, you're a lot more energized and you feel a lot more balanced and really good. So, one layer of that's nutrition. Another layer of that is the exercise component, just to help us understand we are human beings. So, we're supposed to be moving even a little bit, even if it's a walk around the block, or if we're a yoga person or swimming, anything to help us really ground within ourselves. Because when we have that layer down, then we are able to see the things that are beyond somebody's words. If we don't feel good within ourselves, it's going to be a lot harder to put our phone aside, our work aside, and to pay attention to that person in front of us and see first what is their facial cues saying, and does that match up with the words they are saying? Because it's funny, once we start picking up on those things, it doesn't always match up. And then the second layer to all of this is that we feel so much of what is going on. I'm sure you've had it too, Joy, where you've walked into a room and sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I really don't like the energy in here. I don't know what it is, but I stepped into this space. What the heck? I'm just not a fan of it. And you want to leave, right?
Hmm.
Or other
Yeah.
times where you love it. Yeah, exactly. And you feel very comfortable in that room and you really like the energy in there. So that's an analogy I use for people when I talk about us being energetic beings, and that sometimes we can feel the person's emotion in front of us. And all of this takes practice. And with all the layers, it really helps. But that's a holistic kind of picture of seeing beyond words.
Hmm. Wow. Okay, so first of all, you said grounding within ourselves. So, in order
Mhm.
for us to understand people, we need to understand ourselves first and also work on ourselves. Do whatever makes you genuinely happy, and you should be able to connect with yourself, right? And then also
Mhm.
you mentioned we feeling so much, right? And then you gave an example about walking into a room, which is totally relatable actually. Walk into a room and then you notice the energy is off, right? So let's say I walk into a
Totally.
room and the energy is off. What would you advise I
Mhm.
do? Because that energy immediately just cues off mine, right? So
Mhm.
would you
Mhm.
advise I just, overlook it and just join, or I don't know, I wouldn't have known what to do in such situations actually.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm so glad you asked, because that is something that I do think a lot of us, we just kind of brush aside. Where what I always recommend to do, and I'm still practicing myself, is if I do feel that when I'm like, oh, hit with this energy when I walk into a space and I all of a sudden feel ungrounded, I will leave that room just for a few minutes even, and I'll just do some box breathing or some type of grounding exercise. And box breathing, for people who don't know, if you envision a square, you breathe in for 4 seconds, that's one side of the square, hold for 4 seconds, another side of the square, out for 4 seconds, and then hold for 4 seconds. And you repeat that a few times to help regulate your nervous system. And then put the intention out there of I'm going to protect my energy and I'm not going to take on anybody else's energy. So when you envision that around you, almost like you're in this safe bubble, then it helps because you're not absorbing everybody else's as you're in these spaces and you feel a little bit more centered, from what I find at least.
All right. Wow. Thank you so much for that one. Actually, I feel like it
Of
was
course.
really, yeah, it was really helpful, honestly, and it's something I would adopt actually. All right.
Yeah, please use it and then tell me like how you like it and if it works for you or not, and we can always come up with more tools together.
Okay. Wow. Oh, okay. Definitely. Definitely. All right. So,
Perfect.
yeah, I want us to talk about, tackle, right? Through
Mhm.
tackle, you help build better teams and culture. So, what would you say are the biggest communication problems you see in workplaces today?
I love that question because it's my favorite, just getting down to the nitty-gritty of these things. And
Mm.
such a big part of this is just the awareness. A lot of people do not want to have the awareness around what is going on. And I love people who are curious because we will do company-wide questionnaires to understand how everyone is feeling and then do interviews from there to see if it lines up with the questionnaire or not, and understand, is that problem happening within the leadership team or is it happening more so within employees or within the systems of a company? And when we have that type of awareness, we can tailor things to them. And such a big part is like people really are taught to go to Google, go to ChatGPT, go to their leaders, go to people outside of themselves, their friends, their colleagues, rather than I'm going to take a chance and try something myself. And even when we communicate, I notice a lot of people are like broken records and they will repeat the same sentence over and over and over again rather than just trying a different way of explaining something. So I find a lot of it is just the self awareness within ourselves and taking action, but also in ways where we can diversify our thoughts and ways of bringing it about. And when we have those things in harmony, it really helps with the cross cultural communication in global workplaces nowadays because so many people are moving all over the place and it's so much fun to have so many cultures. But if we can really learn those nonverbal cues, that's the way we connect very well because even if we don't speak the same language, we have very similar body language and microfacial cues to get things across.
All right. Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that one, actually. So, talking about like your personal experience with taco, right? So how did your personal experience from adversity to entrepreneurship lead you to build taco and do the work and do the work you're doing today?
Mhm. I actually dropped out of university is how I ended up starting Tackle because
Wow.
as I was letting you know, in my early 20s, I was traveling all over the place. I just loved meeting people, seeing other cultures, and I fell in love with people globally and just different cultures and experiences. So I was like, great, I know I want to help people. And part of that was because I was bullied for so many years from losing my hearing when I was young. I thought I wanted to be a psychologist so that I could really help people with things going on in life, as I feel I've gone through a fair share of things, as we all have, but that I've come out on the other side and learned a lot of tools that I wanted to share with other people. But here I am in Montreal and I'm sitting in my university class and I was studying to be a psychologist. And at that time, I was like, oh my gosh, something just it just feels off. And I'm sitting in this classroom and it was like a foghorn just going off in my head all of a sudden to drop out, drop out, drop
Hmm.
out. And I was like, am I going crazy? Am I insane? But I
Yeah.
ended up dropping out that day. I heard that message in my head. I dropped out. I started showing up to networking events, and that's how I founded Tackle, was by then building a company based off of what I see in the world, which was the pain through workplace bullying. I served on a board of directors for 2 years to help with workplace bullying across Canada and decided I want to go even deeper and hit the root of the problem. And I set up on the Vancouver seawall here. And as I was out on the seawall, I was asking people, what do you love about your workplace? What do you not love about your workplace? And it always came back to people. And everyone either loved or complained about people within their company. So I was like, well, if that's the problem, why aren't we just going within people and doing communication and personal development training? Because that's the main complaint. So let's not overcomplicate things. Let's just hit it right where the problem is being shown.
All right. Wow. Okay. So yeah, I want to let you know that you're doing an amazing job actually. Because
Oh, thank you.
these are things that are often, overlooked in today's society. They just feel
Mm-hmm.
since it's work, right? You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to give in so much of your time since it's work. After all, you're gonna leave work and you go back home. But they don't know that even your workplace has an effect on you. Nobody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like it's just a few hours of my time, and when I'm back home, I'll be okay. But I've seen toxic workplaces, right, where there are no good
Yeah.
communication between the employer and the employee, even amongst the
Mm-hmm.
team, right? They don't know how to communicate with each other, and it's really toxic, and it has an effect on people even outside of their work life, right? So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're doing an amazing job, by the way. So let's see.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
That's so sweet to say. When you hit the nail on the head there, right? It's like the awareness around all of that is so important, but there's just something right within there. Toxic workplaces, I feel other people throw that around sometimes. Some workplaces are toxic because there are leaders within there that do not care and they will do anything to climb to the top and to get their employees to climb to the top. A lot of workplaces I actually find though, they're not toxic, they're just labeled toxic because the leaders just don't have the tools to help guide them. And so I'm glad that you brought that up because I think it's important for people to also know that sometimes their leaders just don't know.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So yeah. Okay. I want us to, there's this one question that keeps coming to my mind, right? So
Of course.
what what are you currently focused on, and what impact are you hoping to create moving forward?
Mm, I'm actually right in the middle of creating company-wide culture consultants that get
Mm,
embedded into different industries because I feel that things happening within companies are preventable. And the
mm,
ways that we prevent people quitting people is by having a new job standard that goes into these companies so that that way it's a regulated industry title, a company culture consultant that will help people from the inside and right away that gets embedded long term, not someone just coming in and here's a binder, here's my recommendations, here's my one and done workshop so you can check it off your list. No, no, let's actually create change and make sure that it stays.
mm. All right. Wow. Okay. I'm also looking forward to that, by the way.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate you.
I'm looking forward to that. And finally, right, I want you to give advice to people out there. Let's say for someone in their 20s who feels
Mhm,
disconnected, overwhelmed, or unsure of themselves. What honest and
mhm,
candid advice would you give them?
mhm. The biggest thing for one in your 20s, go have fun. Go do it all. Your 20s
Okay.
is the best time to try everything and to mess up constantly. The
Hmm.
20s are supposed to be messy. And I see a lot of 20-year-olds that are so regimented and very strict with things in their life. And if
Mm.
that's truly who they are as a person, beautiful, awesome, be that person. But if they kind of have this itch to, well, I want to go try this and I don't know how it is, go do it, because the more things you go do and mess up on, the more confidence you build within yourself, because you're showing yourself, I can do the hard things, I can do the uncomfortable things, and I'll still get out on the other side, because those are where I learn the most amount of tools in life is by messing up. We don't learn by doing things perfectly. It takes all the messy parts to get to the perfection. Not even that perfection's good to the full
Mm.
extent, but you know what I'm saying.
I do actually. And yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like you spoke to me directly, right? Because I'm definitely gonna do what you just said, by the way. Just let
Awesome.
you know.
Heck yeah.
All
Let's
right.
go, girl.
Okay, so this was such a powerful, honest conversation, especially, for anyone trying to understand themselves and build stronger connections in life. I just wanted to let you
Mhm.
know that one. And yeah, it brings me to the final segment of my podcast. It's called the rapid fire segment.
Cool.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm so ready. Let's go, Joy.
All right. So, communication is.
The self-discovery within yourself to better connect with those around you.
Hmm. Okay. Self-awareness is.
The ability to ask yourself questions and taking action on what you truly desire.
Hmm. Okay. Growth requires.
Messing up and do it messy.
Okay, okay. And yeah, resilience looks like.
Feeling your feelings even when it is excruciating,
Hmm.
because you know you're going to come out on the other side.
All right, okay. And finally, clarity comes from.
Messing up, girl. You got to mess up and take action over and over again. You can't be afraid of taking action because it will get messy, but clarity comes from all those steps we take.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, yeah, this was amazing, Kimberly. And where can listeners get to learn more about your work and, how to improve communication and self-awareness?
My website is www.tackle.co. So takkle.co. Otherwise, people can follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram at Kimberly Karstunen.
Oh, okay. I just did that. I followed you now
Perfect.
on Instagram. I want us to connect
Thank you so much.
more.
Yeah,
I don't want
please.
it to
I know.
end
I look
here.
forward to it.
All right. So yeah, thank you so much, Kimberly. This was amazing. And to my listeners, thanks for tuning in to Conversations with Sekani. This episode really did spark a lot in me, and I hope it did in you guys also. And if it did, share to someone you think might need this, and also subscribe so you don't miss out on new episodes. Thank you, Kimberly. I'm gonna reach out to you after this. Do have a wonderful day.
Perfect. Oh,
All
Joy,
right.
I look forward to it. Thank you for everything. It's been a
Okay.
pleasure.
You're welcome. Have a nice day, Kimberly. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.